What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Doing this intro here because it's the best way I can speak to you guys and not have the music drown out my voice. Anyways, here, obviously, Boston Billiard. Second session today. The reason why I'm doing two today is because it's a 3-hour round-trip drive with traffic from Boston, so figured, we'll crank out some sessions, crank out a little tour day, New Hampshire, whatever you want to call it. But we're hopping into the 2-5 game. We're playing 8-handed. It looks pretty reg-heavy, to be honest. There's only one table running, so we're probably going to be a little nitty and maybe not be as splashy as we typically would be. But anyways, who knows? That's what I say now. But give me like 5 minutes, and I'll start donking off 1K at a time. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. Leave a like if you enjoy the videos. It really helps the channel grow. It really helps support the channel as well. So thank you so much for watching it. Leaving a like, drop a comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. But let's get into the hands. 2 sessions in 1 day. Let's fire it up. Here at the 2-5, first hand in, we pick up pocket tens in early position. Here we're playing 8-handed, so I open things up to $20. Folds around to the button player who 3-bets to 70. Action folds to me and against one of the better players at this casino, one of the regs here. Easy call, obviously, and we just know that he doesn't have to have a nutted 3-betting range. Anyways, we're going to a flop, which comes Queen 10-5 Rainbow. This is a board that makes it pretty easy to play. So here I check and play and flow. He throws out a C-bet of $55, really not expecting him to slow down here, and with middle set, just gonna make the call and see a turn. The turn is the 4 of diamonds, brings in 2 diamonds on the board, and I actually think this is a interesting spot to potentially donk out on. Really haven't studied too much on 3-bet pots and donking out on the turn when you have a nutted hand, so I wanted to experiment with this. I throw out a bet of $200, and like I said, I've never actually done this before, but I wanted to try it out in this instance. Sadly, he makes the fold pretty quickly, so seems like we probably butchered this one. He's probably going to be continuing barreling if he had bluffs, so I'm not really sure. We might have made the minimum here and moving on. Next hand, we get a little upgrade, picking up pocket jacks under the gun. I open things up to $20. +1 makes the call to my left, and we're going heads up to a flop. The flop comes 5, 6, 7 Rainbow, and on this board texture, I've been burned in the past by c-betting too much, so I decided to just check here with our overpair. Board certainly hits his range more than mine, obviously, and he decides on a check back. The turn is the 4 of spades, and once again, with the 4-liner out there, now I'm just trying to check and just give up and get the showdown. But when I check, he throws out a bet of $30. This bet doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my mind because I just feel like he should be betting all of his draws and pairs and whatever it may be on the flop if he actually connected and had something. So when he throws out this bet, I'm just not going to believe him just yet. With our overpair, I make the call for 30. The river is now a deuce, so once again, not really a card that changes a whole lot given the board texture, so for a third time, I check. Now he throws out a bet of $75, and once again, for the same reasons that I called on the turn, it just feels a little fishy, and certainly calling off here with just one pair isn't amazing and shouldn't really be recommended too often, but his line doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so whatever. Toss in a crying call, and this player shows us something that you just won't believe. Pocket aces. What the hell is going on? I just didn't think he had aces here in this spot, just flatting my raise pre-flop, and I don't know. I guess he got paid, but nice hand, sir. Our jacks goes down in flames. Hand after that, an orbit or two later, picking up 10-8 of clubs in the cutoff. Action folds to me, and given that we're in the cutoff, I think this is a fun hand to raise up, so I open things up to $20. The player on the button, who looked like he limped out of turn, makes the call, and everyone else folds, so once again, heads up against the player to my left. The flop comes 10-9, 3, 2 diamonds, and a heart. With top pair, certainly going to be c-betting, kind of loving this board here, so I throw out a bet of $25, trying to get some value out of this spot, and this player makes the call. The turn is now an 8 of hearts, so we're looking at a crazy wet board, and we're sitting with 2 pair. With that said, given that we're out of position, I am going to throw out a larger bet this time, sizing up to $90, expecting him to have a good amount of equity, maybe some 10x holdings that we can get a lot of value from that we sucked out against, and with $90, this player makes the call. The river is now the 7 of diamonds. another spot with the 4-liner on the board. The front door flush gets there. Not a whole lot we can do besides check and probably fold to a river bet. But luckily, action goes check, check. This player shows us another weird hand, pocket kings. What the hell against this same player? Mind you that this player actually limped pre-flop out of turn. So he was planning on just limping on the button with kings. I don't know how to navigate these hands against this specific player moving forward. I guess we're just going to be extra cautious. In the following hand, picking up ace-3 offsuit on the button, pretty marginal, but when action folds to the cutoff and he raises it up to $15, action folds to me for $10 more with a wheel ace. Whatever, we're going to make the call and see what happens. The flop comes king 4 deuce all spades, so we've got a monster draw with a nut flush and a gutter to a straight. I check, and this player throws out about $15, and given our ridiculous combo draw, pretty strong hand, we're out of position, very incentivized to either bloat up the pot or take it down right now. I check raise to $60, sizing up 4x. With the $60 raise, this player makes the call, so let's try to improve on the turn. The turn comes the queen of spades, brings us immediate help, and it's always nice to get there immediately, so I'm not really sure what I can get value from, maybe some sort of king-queen holding, but I just sized down here in this instance to $45. Doesn't feel like he's going to make the call with too strong of holdings, and for $45, it's good enough for him to call, so we're going to see a river. The river is the 9 of hearts, and once again, I really don't think I can bet too big here to get called by worse hands. Maybe just the jack of spades would make a crying call, but besides that, we're sitting with the nuts, and it's hard to play it when there's 4 to a flush. Anyways, I sized to $115, hoping it's small enough to get value, but he makes the fold pretty quickly. Regardless, always nice to take down this pot and scoop another one. In this next spot, picking up pocket jacks once again, can this time go a little bit better than the last time. We're on the button and we get a cutoff open to 15, action onto me, easy 3-bet spot for us, so I size to $50. Small blind folds, the big blind now cold calls 50, which is a little alarming, but the cutoff comes along as well, so we're going 3 ways to a flop. Going to a flop in position, it comes 7, 8, 10, 2 spades, and action checks to me. Once again, this board isn't really amazing. We do have an overpair and we do have a gutter, and if I did have the jack of spades, I'd be more incentivized to be betting this flop, but considering that I don't, I'm going to check this one back and do some pot control. The turn is now the ace of hearts. This board just gets worse and worse. For a second time, action checks to me, and I don't know, I guess we're just going to check it back, seeing one of the worst turn cards to see, a card over our pair. So going to a river once again, the river is the 9 of spades. Interestingly enough, for a third time, action checks to me, so it seems pretty unlikely that we're up against the flush, and we're pretty confident in our hand right now given all the passive action. So with a decent straight, I decide to go for an overbet because my line doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I want to look like I'm trying to steal this pot, which I just might do with any sort of random cards that I could be 3-betting with. So I sized to $200, trying to look like a bluff, trying to look like I'm stealing it. The issue with betting so big is that if someone were to raise, I just might have to fold given the line I've taken. But when the big blind makes the call, cutoff folds, I feel pretty good about my hand, so I show my jacks for a straight. And the big blind shows the last 2 case jacks in the deck. He also has pocket jacks, so we're chopping it up the whole way. Very anticlimactic hand, I guess, to say the least, with jacks. Sometimes you gotta mix in some real premiums, and this time we pick up Jack 5 of spades on the big blind. And great hand to play, obviously. There's a 3-way limped pot. We're just limping our big blind. 3 ways the flop comes Jack 8-3, so this is a good flop with top pair. I'm just going to throw out a bet here, a pot size bet of $15. The player to my left makes the call, and this is the same player under the gun guy who has been slow playing his kings and aces, so I guess we kind of have to be careful this time. Heads up to a turn, which comes another jack, so no need to be careful anymore with sitting with trips. I throw another bet, this time of $30, just trying to get value from maybe some heart draws, some 8x holdings, and this player makes the call once again, so we're going to see a river. The river is a 6, and I decide on an overbet this time, given that we have trips. We have no kicker, but I've seen this player be sticky to a $500 bet in a $20 pot with 3-6 on a 3 queen 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 6 board, and the guy who bet $500 clearly had a queen for quads, so seems like he can call pretty light, or at least can consider it. So I throw out an overbet of $125, but this time he just snap folds, so didn't really go our way here. Seems like he just missed a draw of some sort, but the premium Jack 5 of spades coming in clutch, scooping up another pot. This next hand is just a sample of one of the hands that I typically always play, Jack 9 of spades in the hijack. I open things up to $20. We get the big blind to defend, and we're going to a flop of ace 10 4 2 diamonds. He checks to me, ace high board textures. We have some backdoor straight draws, but pretty much just going to be barreling 100% of the time. I see bet $25, and he makes the call. Not really too concerned with him calling, because we're just going to be bluffing most of the later turns and rivers, considering how wide this big blind range should be. So we can just keep on barreling, and when the turn is the king of spades, he checks again, and I throw out another bet again of $60. This player ends up making the folds, and yeah, pretty standard stuff for me. Just one of those hands that I want to include, because this is how most of the hands that I play in a session go. Just pretty much bluffing, betting, and getting folds. The last significant hand of this session, we pick up ace 8 offsuit on the button. Action folds to me. Easy open, I size to $20, small blind folds, and the big blind makes the call. The flop comes ace 6 9 2 spades, and here ace high boards. Obviously, he checks. I throw out a bet of $25. This time it's for value instead of being a bluff, and this player snap calls, so interesting to see that. The turn is another 6, so really doesn't help us too much, but not a card that I'm too concerned about. Our 8 kicker doesn't play anymore, which is totally fine. He checks, and I throw out another bet of $60. Now in this instance, he puts in a check raise to 175. This seems like such a weird spot to do so, and considering that I do hold the ace of spades, it takes away some of the draws that may be playing this way, but I feel like spade draws really wouldn't be doing this considering it's a paired board now. But it seems like he's repping a 6, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't really see many 6x holdings to call the flop, so considering a snap call at that. So this is a spot where I'm really unsure of what to do, considering our kicker sucks and we have top pair, and he's repping so little. Anyways, for a decent price, I guess, and we're in position, I just make the call. The river is the 4 of hearts, a pretty inconsequential card, and he throws out another bet of $200. I just snap call this one, just considering that if I'm going to call the turn, I'm committing myself to call the river anyways. And he shows us the bad news. It's 6-7 of clubs, so I guess he did have a 6, he was repping a 6, and that just makes a whole lot of sense. And there we go. We kind of get owned in this one, lose a little bit more than we should have, but that's how we wrap up our session.
What's up?
We're out of the session. Unfortunately, today, not a whole lot going on, unfortunately. I always try to do something fun, try to do like a ridiculous hand every video or something crazy, because that's just content and good entertainment. Unfortunately today, another pretty boring session. Not a whole lot happened, just didn't get into a whole lot of spots. Some weird stuff with aces and kings to the guy to my left. Just had no idea what the hell was going on. And then that last hand kind of killed us with the ace 8 versus 6-7. Kind of cut away in our profits. So we were in the game for a total of 1,000. We were out of the game for 955. The first losing session of this clawback. So throw that ticker up wherever on the screen. Trying to get out of the minus 9K hole. So slowly but surely we'll get there. Unfortunately, this one was not too exciting, but hopefully enjoyed it. There was some poker action for you guys. You got some value, some entertainment out of it. Smash that like button. It's always much appreciated. And I don't know. I don't know if I like this format, to be quite honest with you, but for now it works. The audio is better than what it would be if it didn't. So that's all I got. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.